What's one thing that made you say never fucking again? Attempting to catch my dog's shit in the bag rather than picking it up from the ground. Seemed like a good idea. Dog sharted up my arm. Had a long walk back home through my neighborhood covered in shit. Never again. Purchased a bag of 150 mint Mentos as a study snack. Got stuck into an assignment and somehow ate the entire bag over a 12-hour period. Next day my partner and I walked our dogs down to a cafe. Stomach becomes sore while we drink our coffee. I look to the toilet but it's a busy cafe with a single toilet. Figure I'll just wait to do my business back home, about a half-hour walk away. As we start walking back I begin to sweat. Cramps become unbearable. Give my partner the dog lead and tell her I need to run. She doesn't know what's going on. I start sprinting, which then makes the stomach cramps so much worse. Realize I'm not going to make it. Almost crying from the stomach cramps. See a bush. Can't hold it. Pull pants down. Don't quite succeed. Shit everywhere. Bush isn't concealed. Other dog walkers walk past and dog runs up. Mortified. Still can't stop shitting. Partner sees me. My pug happy to see me. Runs straight up and into my Mentos diarrhea. Haven't eaten Mentos ever again. It's a fun story now but God did that day suck. Partner loves to bring it up at dinner parties. Law school. I applied and got in because my parents thought I would be a good fit. I stuck out the first year because I was heavily influenced into thinking my career paths only included law, engineering, or medicine. After the first year I was miserable and depressed, dropped out and now I'm doing something that I'm passionate about and is less saturated than law. My dad is still trying to convince me to pursue a JD. Yesterday I was in a hurry and not being very safe and put a 1/4 drill bit through my hand. Could have been 100% avoided by taking even the slightest of safety precautions but I was frustrated and rushing to finish. Never again will I not take the simple moment to do it correctly. When I was 4 years old my dad slipped and sawed off 4 of his fingers. I was the only one there at the time so I had to put them in a baggie with ice and hang on to them. That was a bit traumatizing. I know someone will ask so yes they reattached his fingers and he has partial control over them. He would have had more but he broke them while they were healing when his hand got slammed in a door. The doctor tried the first time for about 10 minutes of me crying and trying to relax then sent me home and gave me a prescription for something to soften my cervix and told me to take 1000 milligrams of Advil a few hours before I came back in. Followed the order, came back in for another 5 minutes of torture at which point she said I've got an iron cervix and they'll just try to get the biopsy when I'm out while they remove the cyst. Bitch, why wasn't that the first option? My first IUD placement was awful. I swore I'd never do it again but 2 weeks after the biopsy, I had unexplained bleeding for over 40 days. The doc recommended a new IUD since when I'd had one before I'd not had bleeding issues and birth control wasn't stopping shit. I was shaking on the table cause I knew what was coming and again, I didn't feel much of anything. I'm thinking the being in constant pain for the past 40 days with cramps and massive bleeding my body was just like meh, whatevs. Here I am a week later and the bleeding stopped yesterday. So I guess I'll be having IUDs until menopause. Sorry that was way TMI. LOL. I had my gallbladder removed after a gallstone. I thought I was having a heart attack and called an ambulance. While I waited I started arrange all of my finances for my wife. The hospital ran a zillion tests, told me it was a gallstone, and the only real solution was to remove the whole gallbladder if it came back. If it came back? Yup. Fuck that shit. I told the doctor I would never go through that pain again and he could schedule me for surgery then and there. I've had women tell me the pain from a gallstone lodged in the duct is worse than childbirth and I believe them. No way was I going through that again. Alcohol and cocaine almost ruined my life. Started drinking at 16, started doing coke at 26, and took till I was damn near 41 to quit. Dumped my last baggie of blowout beside my garage 23 years ago and haven't touched the shit since. I'm in the process of learning exactly this. I used to keep every single friendship and let anyone who wanted to befriend me do that cause I was terrified of being just like the others. I never took into consideration if I even liked them. Never truly noticed something wrong with this until my therapist pointed it out. In the process of months I managed to cut 3 people out of my life who didn't give me anything good back. I can only recommend this. It is incredibly hard when you have to go against everything you feared and believed your whole life, but this feeling you get from standing up for yourself is worth all the pain. I have way more confidence now. I know that I can defend myself, and I know that my opinion matters. I still hold these fears, but I also feel a lot more free than I ever have before, and it's honestly really fucking amazing. My ex. We were giving long distance a shot. It was an on and off relationship for like 3 years. I traveled 18HRS to see him only to find out he had been cheating on me and no one from his circle even knew I existed. I cried for a straight 18HR bus ride back home. Never fucking again. When I was like 11 I had some friends, the kids that lived next door, over and we were just hanging out, playing video games all night. My mom ordered Papa John's for us. We tore the pizza up like the ravenous savages we were and continued gaming. That night the boy stayed over while his sisters and little brother went back home. We go to bed that night and at some point one of us, can't remember who, began to throw up, which woke the other one up. My mom rushes in and helps clean up the mess. Once the vomiting stops we go back to bed. But then before long it start again. Just like before, sometimes I was first, sometimes it was him. Sometimes we could get to the bathroom on time, sometimes we couldn't. My mother, the saint of a woman she is, cleaned up all of that vomit. Apparently things were no better at their house. To this day, some 15 years later, I refuse to eat Papa John's. I'm sure it was just a one-time thing, but once was enough. Peppermint essential oil. Why? My darling spouse read online you could use it on lady bits to provide a tingling sensation. Decided to do so to me. Didn't read the bit about majorly diluting it first. The result? The sensation of 1,000 fire ants biting my most intimate parts while simultaneously being submerged in lava. And since it's an oil, washing it off did jack shit. I sobbed in a half-full bathtub whilst rubbing my cooch with a towel doused in vegetable oil, the remedy, according to the internet. 0/10 do not recommend. Never again. Edit, a number. Amniocentesis. Having a giant needle stuck through my pregnant belly and being dug around to get a sample triggered my fight/flight and I was sweating so much from the intensity. I didn't watch while they did it, but my mother-in-law was there and started crying while they were digging around. She held my hand, looked at me with tears in her eyes and tried to calmly say it's okay, you're okay. I still have nightmares about it 10 years later.
Thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe.